In a traditionally male-dominated sector, Cadent Gas is tackling taboos head-on to support women to stay in the workplace. Through education and conversation, they're creating an environment that champions the menopause and women's health issues. We went to find out more. Cadent Gas is not only a champion of women in the gas industry via promotion, training and recruitment. They also take direct action to retain their female workforce by placing menopause support at the heart of what the company does via policy change, education and conversation.
You feel confident that you can have the conversation now. I think that's the main thing, is that people feel confident they're able to talk, be able to have a conversation, and then you can obviously do something about it to support people where you need to support them or just listen.
Senior Director Dave Moon sponsors the Women in Cadence Network. As the father of a 12-year-old daughter, he realised that women face specific challenges at each stage of their lives.
Yeah, I wanted to get involved in Women in Cadence to make a difference in our workplace, to help other people's daughters and sisters and mothers and everything else.
Hilary Buxton is Director of Engineering, a respected senior woman who's maintained her career path in spite of menopausal difficulties, thanks to the work of the Menopause Support Group and her employer. The group was first set up online during the pandemic. In a short space of time, its chair, Lucy Stewart, has organised monthly educational meetings to kick-start conversations across the business, developed a range of comfortable workwear, driven changes to policies and rolled out free sanitary supplies in all the toilets.
Cadent have come a long way in a very short period of time. Had I wanted to start broaching conversations about menopause back in 2019, I probably would have felt quite uncomfortable, which is really an indication of how quickly things have changed and how dynamic it's been. During the pandemic, the conversation opened and started and became live and real. And as an organisation, we became much more tuned into it.
Her worst symptom after a surgically induced menopause was severe memory loss.
I work in a male-dominated environment in the engineering team, and there was probably a little bit of embarrassment to begin with when I mentioned it. But by keeping on reinforcing it, and also reinforcing with my team that it's okay to remind me, it's okay to give me a nudge if they've got a concern that there's something I may have forgotten or overlooked.
It's been great to see more and more conversations happening kind of within Cadent, kind of naturally, rather than it being like a forced discussion. And it's happening now. It's a natural thing, which is testament to the work that the team have been doing.
Lucy herself has now been shortlisted for a community award for the work she's done as she drives Cadent Gas towards menopause-friendly employer status.
I think having the support of the exec committee here at Cadent really helps that, because everything that is needed to be an accredited employer, they've been fully on board with supporting in terms of having training for our line managers. So we're going to roll out some e-learning packages that will help our line managers have those difficult conversations when required. We've got a menopause standard, so everybody knows where Cadent stand when it comes to those menopause conversations.
Being part of such an inclusive environment encouraged mother of four Vicky to believe she could take on an apprenticeship later in life.
I'm very much aware of some of their policies and processes and their support groups. They're groups for women into the network, and being part of some of those groups actually gave me probably the thought and the trust. And I spoke to a couple of mentors which actually helped me to actually believe in myself, to actually go, you can do this. It's not as difficult as you think it is.
What's it like being a mature female apprentice with predominantly men to work with?
It's interesting. So they do treat me with respect, and I know that the lads that have supported me out on the patch, if I phoned them and I had an issue and I was out by myself, they'd all turn around and help me.
So we've had lots of men in our team in Cadent who've wanted to understand. And that's kind of created an environment where it feels not too uncomfortable to have those conversations.
Lucy's work in encouraging openness and dialogue about the menopause has already improved the lives of her colleagues, empowering them to visit their GPs and to speak up if they are struggling at work.
It's that kind of feedback that makes me feel like we're doing the right thing, and we are supporting the women and my colleagues really here at Cadent to be their best selves when they're working.
Cadent Gas are really ambitious to be at the front on employee dynamics and support. It is absolutely up there, along with a really exciting future as we look at different energy sources going forwards.